Good morning, Ocean Club membership. It is Thursday, October 27th, and I'm here with mold remediation expert Alfred. And Alfred and his team have done a wonderful job, and we're just going to go highlight the areas in which Alfred and his team have done some work, and we're ready to move on to the next step, which is going to be putting up the installation in the drywall. So, Alfred, if you will. So as you can see, we have the drywall and the installation already lined up, and John Mao and his company were nice enough to coordinate this with us, and that's certainly a blessing in disguise with all of the work that's going on in South Florida. So Alfred, if you want to just take us through what your team did here in this room.
So basically what we did is we put containments up, set up negative air. We removed all the affected areas. If you guys do a 360 around, you can see it's from floor to ceiling. A lot of the mold was concentrated in this corner. Over there was old leaks, but a lot of it was concentrated in this corner. Oddly enough, it didn't really affect anything up here. It's only from straight down. So we did the removal. After we did the removal, we cleaned and sanitized about 6 or 7 times. Clean and sanitize means HEPA vacuum wet wipes with an antimicrobial. And then after we did that, we fogged. We must have cleaned and sanitized about 6 or 7 times before we applied the antimicrobial paint. Now the antimicrobial paint, we applied it to help prevent mold growth in the future.
So we're here in the lounge, and in the last video we talked about this west wall. And subsequently we've had a couple of professional roofers come out. We did contract with a roof expert consultant to come and look at our entire roof to make sure that we do not have any prolonging leaks going on. What we did find through our other roofers was that we have a condensation problem, not necessarily a roof leak problem, and I'll get into that in a little bit. But Alfred, you want to tell the membership what you've done in this room here?
So this room, we did the same thing. We put we put the 6 mil plastic up to seal all the areas. We sealed all your vents. We removed from floor to ceiling on this wall, but we noticed when we got to go 2 feet beyond visual, we had to keep on going. And as we kept on going, it stopped right in that corner, right before that corner. And then we ended up pulling all the wallpaper off here to make sure that we didn't see any more visual water damage on these walls. The only thing that we saw was a little bit of surface mold on the top, and that's caused by high relative humidity and moisture getting behind the wallpaper. So we HEPA vacuum and wet wipe those areas and applied an antimicrobial paint on those areas. Over here, just like I said in there, we cleaned and sanitized about 8 times during the whole process. And after we did that, we fogged and then put antimicrobial paint over all the beams and the actual remaining drywall on the other side, wall cavities.
We are now in the pineapple room, which is the south part of the clubhouse. And as you can already see, our drywall and installation is going up in this room. And Alfred, again, what did you do in this room here?
We set up the containments with negative air. We removed all the tops, and what we noticed is underneath most of your vents you had condensation going all the way down with mold growth behind your drywall. So we went ahead and removed all of that wall, and then we removed your east wall because this was all dry, by the way, so this is from an old leak, and we moved it from floor to ceiling all the way across. This wall was fine, and then we removed from floor to ceiling over by your built-in. Your built-in was, I guess you guys had to use an old leak, and so we removed your built-in from floor to ceiling, clean and sanitized, HEPA vacuum wet wipes, fogged, and then applied an antimicrobial paint over all the newly exposed wall cavities.
So in conclusion, we have the mold remediation under control now. And I just want to thank Superior Mold, Alfred, his wife, and their Superior team for an excellent job and a job well done very quickly. And also want to thank John Mao and his construction team for following up immediately. And it looks as if we should get the clubhouse operational and functional by the end of next week, which would be really good news. Again, operational and functional. We're not going to have wallpaper up or paint or any of that. But again, Alfred, I want to thank you and your team. You guys did an outstanding job. So as I spoke about this in the earlier video, this here is our majority of our problem on this west wall. And what we found out is that it's not necessarily a roof leak, as it is we're causing and creating a condensation leak with our air conditioning ducts. And just to kind of summarize this real quickly, what we're creating with the relative humidity inside our attic and the cold air going in the attic and the western sun penetrating these windows on this side, in essence, we're creating a mini rainstorm, and it's dripping down these walls. So we have a humidity expert coming in. We also have the roofing consultant coming in to make sure that we fix these issues once and for all, and that we don't have to revisit this down the road anytime soon. Part of the remediation is that we now have humidifiers all throughout the ceiling and the roof areas of all of the clubhouse. So that will keep our humidity low, and with the air conditioning constant, we shouldn't have this issue going forward. So that's where we are at this point, and I will give an update once the walls are up, and we're hoping again that we're functional by the end of next week.